Can you change beliefs about yourself? This is the big creative question that I have asked myself and that I am going to talk about today. So hi, I'm Emily Roberson, author of Lifestyles of Gods and Monsters, and hopefully I'll be back making more videos. Things have been crazy here. Nobody will stay in school. But anyway, here we are. I'm back. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to change beliefs about ourselves. Have you guys ever heard of a limiting belief? I hadn't really heard of this and then I started reading about it. It's a belief that keeps you from being able to do the things that you want to do in the world. And a lot of times these beliefs are presented to us in a way that seems true, like capital T true, like came down from a mountaintop true. And so it's really hard to know that they're beliefs rather than truth. But I don't know about you guys, but I find it really hard to tackle some of those sort of core beliefs that I got about myself as a kid moving forward. I am going to talk about that in the context of this book. It's called Creating on Purpose. It's got a lot of yoga in it, but it was really good. It's by Anodea, Judith, and Goodman. Anyway, okay. They sort of came up with a way for you to start by figuring out like what your limiting beliefs are. And so, because you may not even know what they are, because like I said, they present themselves as though they are true. The first step is to figure out what your limiting beliefs are, because half the time we don't even know. And so I, at the beginning of the new year, did this. It is super hard. Okay, so here's how you start. You get super settled and put your feet on the floor and take a deep breath, because this is a yoga book, so of course they have you do that. But you do that and then you take a deep breath and then you say something to yourself like, I am a great author, or I am beautiful, or I am a lovely human. Pick something. And then they have you stop and listen to every voice that showed up in your head. You can even lead with like, I am happy. Every voice that shows up in your head that's like, happy? Who are you to say you're happy? Weren't you sad last Thursday? Or, pick a thing. And so what they have you do, instead of doing what I have historically done, which is to be like, well, that's a stupid belief. Why do I have that stupid belief? And then spend a ton of time on that. They actually have you just sit and write them all down, because they give this analogy that I feel like I wish I had known years ago. Let's imagine that you are in your house and you're just sitting there watching TV and all the lights are on and someone has a very important message to bring you. They are going to come to your house and knock on the door. They can see that all the lights are on. You're home. You have to sign for it. It's from the IRS. Okay, you're like, I don't want to answer that. What are they going to do? They're going to get louder, right? They're going to bang on the door. They're going to shout on the door, everything. And then when you open the door, they'll be like, hey, here's your message. Would you sign for it? And that's it. And then they leave. So these guys, Anodea, Judith, and Goodman, make the point that these things in our head, half the time, they just want to deliver the message. And like for me, I am terrified of rejection. I strongly dislike it. And so my brain, of course, anytime I get close to, say, submitting an article to a magazine, which is the thing I've wanted to do since I was like 17 years old, my brain's like, oh no, don't do that, because they're just going to say no and you'll get a rejection letter and it's really hard and it's easier just to not do that. The problem is that part of my brain is taking so much power that like the other parts that are like, but I really want people to read what I write. I made these words. I want to share them. I want to be in community with other people, like all the reasons I write. Because you guys, like, I kind of thought for a long time that maybe there was some like sort of suspect reason, like some sort of like, does that make me needy or sad or pathetic in some way? And like the more I'm reading about stuff, no, I do this because that's what humans do. This is what humans do. We tell stories to each other. We've been doing it since we were in caves. So how to get past, Mr. Terrified of Rejection, who's saying like, you can't send your stories out in the world. And that is the impasse I've been at for a really long time. I want this, but then also this. And I'm stuck, right? Stuck. I'm sure some of you are in the same boat. Stuck. If you're stuck, let me know down below. I'd love to hear about it. So we're not so alone, which is the whole point of this whole thing. So what this book gives is something that I never had before, which is a way to change a limiting belief, to change it, to actually transform it. And of course, there's some meditation here, because the big thing that they talk about is you cannot, and this is like a meditation thing, like I've started doing this Headspace app and they talk about it all the time. You can't argue with your brain, because your brain is what you're arguing with. So you just end up with the people in a cartoon with a demon on one side and a angel on the other and the whole thing. So you can't, no. So what you have to do is actually change your brain at the core level if you want to do this. And I know this sounds so nuts, but you guys, it's really powerful. So I'm going to share it with you, even knowing that sounds nuts. Okay. So they have you do this meditation, and this is a meditation that is taken from Creating on Purpose. I did not come up with this. I've never come up with a meditation in my life. And I'm just gonna tell it to you, so close your eyes, just do it. Please just go with me, I promise it's great. Imagine that you are sitting in your chair, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Okay, you've closed your eyes, you've taken a deep breath. Now, I want you to imagine that your chair that you were sitting in, you're imagining now, you stand up, you go out your house, you open the door, and instead of being your street, you are in some woods. And you're gonna walk through the woods, feel the crunch of the leaves under the ground, feel the breeze in the branches, you're walking, and then you come to the edge of the woods, and then you come to a meadow. You walk across that meadow and you find a circle of stones. And inside that circle of stones, there's a mirror and a fire. There's a stone next to the circle of stones that has an engraving on it, and it says, "Here are beliefs made real." Okay, so you go into the circle of stones, look at yourself in this mirror. See what you have on, okay? What do you have on in the mirror? And just file that as, okay, that's what I have on in the mirror. Next up, you're gonna take your limiting belief. This is the one that is the loudest when we did that exercise earlier. This is the one that's screaming at you, you can't spell. Some people it's spelling. Pick what is your limiting belief? And after we're done, I'll tell you mine. Okay, so you pick your limiting belief and think about it. Think that belief, and then look at yourself in the mirror. What are you wearing on your body? What clothes do you have on in the mirror? Now I want you to look at those clothes, feel those clothes, really feel what they feel like. And then I want you to ask yourself, am I really ready to be rid of this belief? Because this belief showed up for a reason. It helped you at some time. Because all these things we believe, they seemed useful to us at some time. So was it helpful to you at some time? And are you really ready to be free of it? Well, if you are, I want you to take off those clothes. Take off those clothes. And then you walk over to that little fire I told you about, and you're gonna take each piece of those clothes and put them on the fire. But before you do that, so hold off, if you start to put them on, you're gonna say, thank you. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for what you did for me, but I don't need you anymore. Got it? So you're gonna take whatever element of those clothes, you're gonna strip down to your underwear, including your socks and shoes and everything, and you're gonna put them in that fire, and you're gonna watch them burn until they burn up, until there's nothing but ash there. And then you're gonna walk back over to the mirror with your eyes closed, and you're gonna say the new belief that you want to replace that old belief with. And it's really important that that new belief not be a negative belief. You don't want it to be like, I don't want to be unhappy. No, like you want it to be, I want to be happy. In fact, it'd be great if it was like, I want to be radiantly happy. I want to be incredibly happy. You know, whatever your thing is that you would like to believe. So you're going to stand in front of the mirror and you're going to say that with your full force of belief. And if you have a voice that comes up that says like, no, 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 you say, no, I'll talk to you later. You're not going to be mean to that voice, because remember, that's what we just talked about. You're going to say to that voice like you would if you had a toddler who came up to ask you to do something when you were, say, had your hands and were really dirty. You say, my hands are dirty right now, and I will come back and deal with you in a minute. Like, I promise I will be right back. And that belief can be something that you bring back to the circle of stones another time. But right now, we're dealing with this one belief, your primary limiting belief. Okay, we're standing in front of the mirror with our eyes closed, and we are going to say this belief really loudly and clearly. And now open your eyes. Now, if you open your eyes and you can't tell what you have on, or your image isn't clear at all, please don't give up. I promise it's worth the effort. So look back over the belief. Maybe there's something about it that is uncomfortable to you. So really just try again, like close your eyes, reframe the belief, and now we're going to say it loudly and clearly. And then open your eyes. What are you wearing? I want you to really pay attention to everything you have on. How does it feel? Is it comfortable? Does it feel like something you could wear? I want you to walk around the circle of stones in it. Really get the feel of it. And if you feel strongly that this is the right thing, this is the new belief you want to go forward with, it's time to leave. Our work here is done. You're going to leave the circle of stones, and as you pass the inscribed stone, you can thank the circle for its help. You're going to walk back across the meadow, then you're going to walk back through the woods, and then it's time to go back to your own house and your own chair. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and as you can see, I have a whole different setup here because when I was cutting together this video, I realized that the whole end section where I told you about my experience with this was without any sound, as you can see right here. So, okay, so I am going to tell you guys what this was like for me, hopefully inspiring you to try it again if it didn't work for you the first time. So I went through this whole process. I took a limiting belief that I have really struggled with. Somehow I left my childhood, early adulthood at some point, with the idea that my authentic self, like this person with pretend gloves, and which I maybe should take off, and all the things, who does things like make YouTube videos, was harmful to other people, annoying, challenging, difficult, but mostly harmful. And given that since the 3rd grade, I have wanted to be a writer, entertainer, and creator, you can see the problem, because the truth of the matter is, I really believe this, whether it's, we were bards sitting around a campfire, or whether it's, someone making YouTube right now, the closer we can get to our authentic selves with the work we make and just everything we do in the world, the better our life will be, but also the better our work will be. I mean, we've all had the experience of interacting with someone where you knew they were faking, they were pretending, and humans are really good at sniffing that out. And so if I want to create the best work I can, which I do, I need to be really lined up with my authentic self. But if one of my core limiting beliefs is that my authentic self is harmful to other people, you can see the problem. So I took that belief to the circle of stones in the mirror, feeling exactly as silly as you maybe did. But when I looked in that mirror, when I took the belief, my authentic self is harmful to other people, I instantly knew what I had on. I had on a navy blue sweatshirt and very baggy jeans and a pair of Converse All-Stars, which is a uniform that I wore a lot in my late teens and early 20s. So put some pictures here so you guys can see them. And I thought really hard about consigning those to the fire, because all of those things really did help me when what I wanted was to be invisible, because that's what those things made me. And so to put them there and to watch them burn and really sit there and watch those sweet, white, dingy Converse All-Stars commit themselves to the ether while thanking them for their service was really powerful. And then I took my new belief, which I went with an exact opposite belief, which is my authentic self helps people. That seemed like a good one to start with. So I took my authentic self helps people to the circle of stones and closed my eyes and did the whole thing. And what I had on in the mirror was the outfit that I had on in the original video that I recorded for you guys, which is just a black sweater, but comfortable, nice but fitted, black pants, and a colorful belt and a scarf. As you can see, in a way, they're not that different. It's not like all of a sudden I was in a party dress. It's just both things fit me, but this one fits the self I'm growing into. So anyway, I have actually been doing this whole exercise for several limiting beliefs that I have. And if you guys like this video and want me to, I can definitely talk you through some of the other ones that I've had. I would love to know if you try this. Y'all, it's really worth a try. Just, I understand, like, it sounds so crazy, but the thing is, our brains are amazing, and they are also a bunch of raccoons in a trench coat, right? Like, they're all these different parts of our brains want different things. Like, so the part of my brain that is conditioned by, you know, protecting me from any and all scary things, including social rejection, really isn't helping the part of my brain that really wants me to do more stuff like this. So anyway, hope this helps you guys. Hope you enjoy it, and let me know what else you'd like to see. Thank you.